Huh.
Hey folks, it's Dane here at JONAH Guitars, and I know the last thing I said, I'm pretty sure made some sort of reference to, I don't know, finding out if 20 thousandths run out was too much. Oh, I was going to put a band on it, order just the band, the blade, and put that on and check and see how things all panned out that way. I just went ahead and went all in. What the Brits have a saying, something like in for a penny, in for a pound. Something like that. Steve will let me know if that's right or not. So I went ahead and ordered the parts that I needed for the bandsaw. I got a couple blades. Well, we'll just open the box here and I'll show you. Okay, I think we're lined up here. I already opened the box, but I took all the stuffing out and brought it out to the shop. So we have a 1-inch wide, 133-inch blade. Let's see here. I got a couple of those. Same exact blade, twice. Okay. Now this is pretty exciting. This is a nice wide blade. It's about right here where it's tied is about your width. Anyway, that's going to be amazing. Three TPI on that, and that ought to just screaming through some lumber. I got the tires that I needed. One top, bottom, and one top, bottom. One top tire, one bottom tire. There's no money. There's no invoice in here. I also have the new guides, bearing guides. I got. Well, I don't have my pocket knife in these pants. Let's just get in here somehow. Anyway, so I'll get this stuff all unearthed here, and then I'm going to start taking the old tires off the saw. You know what? I will probably do, even though I bought all the parts, probably going to go ahead, let me zoom in here, probably going to go ahead and try the blades just before. So we've got, this is pretty sweet. Actually, oh, get back in the camera. So you got the back bearing, which you know, just keeps the blade rigid forward and backward, and then you got your side bearings on this thing. So very, very nice, nicely milled unit here. It's got set screws that will loosen, and you can adjust these things in or out. I don't know if they, oh, I see what they do. Yeah, cool. So there's you just loosen the deal, and then you can rotate here. It's an eccentric shaft, and it'll just rotate them in to each other. And then the shaft that holds it to the machine is also eccentric. And it's got the 5/8 shaft goes in the into the hole in the machine, and then the other shaft is off center and that allows the whole unit to go in. And let me see, I'm gonna back out a little bit so it's not so hard to find the camera. And that allows it to swing one way or the other. And so if you need to push the whole thing one way or the other, you can do that. Up or down isn't going to be critical, but side to side would be critical. So anyway, there's that. There's another one that looks just like that one, and another rod in here that looks just like that one. So that have uppers and lowers, and 2 blades and 2 tires, and that's it. Let's get on with this. All right, folks, we're back in here with the bandsaw. Let me just say quickly, I have not put the tires on this thing. I was kind of second guessing. I'm going to go ahead and put them on just because I bought them, and hey, why not? I also tentatively got the lower guide in and adjusted. Yeah, and the top guide will go the opposite direction, I think. That's the way I'm going to do it anyway. It may or may not screw me up on that 12 inches, but I think I measured that 12 inches previously with the guide in. That was there, so not sure. Not that critical. What was I going to say when I turned the camera on? Okay, yeah. I'm riding a little bit. My upper and lower wheels do not line up perfectly. I'm kind of jammed into this corner of the shop, and I don't have a long ways to get away from this thing. So anyway, I got to put a band on it, and I tell you, it does not seem to be a problem having 20 thousandths or run out. The thing's running really true around the wheel. I'm not sure it's 100% up to tension just yet. It's got a really crappy little adjuster knob on it. It's not got a lot of leverage going for it. I might put a pipe clamp on, or a pipe wrench on that thing and tweak it a bit. Probably whatever you can call them, purists out there are cringing at that idea. But you can see, if you can see, the blade's kind of in the dark here. Go this way. You can see there's a bit of deflection, although there's got to be 3 feet of blade hanging between the wheels here on this side. And I've got just got that lower guide there. Anyway, so as far as the only time the blade hits the back wheel, it's very, very close. The back wheel of the guide is at the weld, so pretty much comes around. I'll find the weld here for you. Maybe there it comes. See that nice, wherever it is. That's harder to see on the camera than I thought it might. There's right there, that light spot. The light hitting it just right. The weld kind of has a little bit of a tweak in it, and that kind of POs me, I'll tell you. Just because all the reviews I read on these blades talked about how great they were. And I understand that with a resaw, you're only going to get so clean a cut, but at the same time, that's why I'm spending lots of money on this thing. I want it to be the best it can be. So at any rate, the run out doesn't seem to be an issue because it's obviously the blade is running very true up and down there, so I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to go ahead and do everything I planned on doing to the thing, which is putting tires on it. I'm going to really be ticked if I put tires on it and it's lumpy. But this wheel, I'm pretty sure the upper wheel needs to go in a bit because of the way this is running on the tire down here. It's running relatively close to the edge of the wheel here. and I want it to center up better than it does. I could probably get away with it there, but I think I probably only need to push this one in about 1/8 of an inch on top, if that. And there's room for it to do that. So once I get the tires on everything, that's what's going to happen. And I realize I'm flashing up and down here and showing you the debris field of my bench. I just did a couple fret jobs this week and things are just scattered. But everybody's happy and all the guitars are back to their owners, so it's all good. All right, I guess that's going to wrap it up for this little section. All right, folks, so I pulled the tire off the upper wheel. I have, wiped it all down with acetone, but I'm gonna try scraping it with a razor blade and see. It's smooth. I don't have any issues with that. Also has like what do you want to call little serrations, for lack of a better word, around the whole wheel, and I think it's probably clean enough, but I'm going to work on it a little more than that. And so I thought I would bring you in here and show you how easy the other one came off. Hopefully this one will come off as easy. All right, so just to give you an idea, and this other one is bad. I'm sure they're the same age, probably from the machine being new. You just don't know how well you can see it because I'm not getting a good look at that lens. But it's very, very cracked and checked and weathered and all whatever you want to call it, but it's pretty chewed up. So I'm not remotely so what I'm looking for, reluctant to go ahead and change these tires up. I see this is, if I can get my hand out of the way, you might be able to see. They, the other one just came off pretty much like that. Once I got the section loose, so there's that guy, and it's pretty much equally chewed. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this one down and probably work on it again with a razor blade. Try to get some more stuff. And I got bring you back in when I start trying to put the tires back on. That's not going to be fun. Oh, because here's a tire, and if you look at how far that has to go, it's quite a bit that has to get around there. So it's got to stretch quite a ways. All right, so we're back. The wheel's as clean as I'm going to get it, and I'm about ready to put the tire on. It's been heating up for about 3+ minutes in water that's about 120 degrees, and hopefully that will help it stretch. So I'm going to grab that and pushing about 4 minutes. It's a little hotter than 125 or 120, so I'm not going to leave it in for the full 5 minutes. How hot? I recommended gloves and everything because it was going to be so hot, but at 120 degrees it's just not that hot. So just clamping that down, and oops. That doesn't really seem like it's any softer, or not sure what that 120 degrees is supposed to do. You get hotter than that in the back of a FedEx truck. Nope. Well, that's really not helping a lot. Let's try a little longer in the water. Second try. I clamp it down in a couple spaces. And that's not working. Well, I'm just centering the tire on the wheel here, trying to. I'm assuming that as it cools off, which doesn't feel like it's got any heat in it right now, that it will shrink, and that upon doing so it will adhere to the wheel tighter, because right now it's pretty easy to shove one way or the other. All right, well, seems pretty even. All right, folks, so here's the bandsaw, 18-inch CRAFTSMAN, 1955. It's still ugly as sin, and but it's together. I'll come in here, you can see the Parks, I believe, was the name of the company that I ordered these from. So aftermarket bandsaw guides that work on a lot of different ones. This one was specific to this saw, or this and others. And they have all kinds of guides, so it isn't just this one saw they fit. And then I had the guide underneath there as well. Now, if you can tell me, I don't know if you can tell in this video or not, this is not exactly perpendicular to the blade. It's a little off, and I kicked it a little bit because I wanted the bearing to hit the center, you know, the blade to hit the center of the bearing. There's a groove in the bearing over here, and I didn't want it to ride in that groove. Maybe it's supposed to ride in that groove, but that just seemed like that was going to be difficult to ride that groove and then also get these side-to-side adjustments and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I opted to go a little off out of that groove. So here's the top wheel, new tire, put everything back together, got the bottom wheel also. New tire, if you can see there, you see a little glint of blue there. It's relatively adjusted. I mean, it's running, everything's staying where it goes. The tires are staying centered on the wheels. So yeah, so it's. I didn't see what the overall cut height was going to be. Another view of the beautiful bench there. Trying to just tighten my little knob up there. All right, so I adjusted the table. It's got a screw underneath it here that you just back the screw out with the lock nut. For some reason, my dealio, which was really cut up, will not go in here. It wants to push, really wants to push on that edge of the blade. Whoops, on that edge of the blade there. Don't know why. I pulled the table, pushed the table farther. That table just rides on a couple of glides underneath, and it can go forward or backward, as well as side to side for 45 degrees. But anyway, that thing will not go back in there now. So, but I've adjusted it so that it's square to the world here. Hey folks, this is Dane at JONAH Guitars. I just kind of wanted to catch you up on what the final totals on the 18-inch bandsaw as far as what it cost me to actually get the machine and then overhaul it to the point. I didn't restore it. I would not call it restored. I didn't do anything with paint or really scrub the table down to where it's sparkly. The initial cost of the machine was a trade for a classical guitar that was given to me that just had a missing tuner button, and I couldn't find a tuner button to match. It was kind of intricate, so I ended up just buying a set of tuner buttons and breaking all the existing ones off and replacing those. The guy that had the bandsaw just wanted to trade for this guitar. He knew about the guitar, he was familiar with it, and he just wanted a guitar for his daughter to play. It's bandsaw that obviously needed some work, that wasn't working properly, was just actually being stored someplace, and I'm not even sure. He was just more or less given the assignment of getting rid of it. I don't think he owned it. But it's an 18-inch, as you know, CRAFTSMAN or Parks woodworking machines. 64 years old. So 55, built in 55. So do it the easiest way to add up. So I purchased $430 worth of parts, and those parts included 2 bandsaw blades, 2 urethane tires for the 18-inch wheels, and then also a set of guides, bearing guides, roller guides. So you had top and bottom guide. That within that 430 was 250 about. So that plus the 430 plus $90 worth of machine work to have that lower wheel punched and sleeved with a metal bushing, was $90, and then there was one other. Oh, that was the 13. So anyway, so we're at 430 plus 90, 520 plus the 13 for the tuner buttons. We're not talking labor, of course. It puts us up to 533. So for $533, I got a saw that I could resaw up to 12 inches height, and it works great. I didn't get any video of me actually sawing with it, but I just actually pushed 3 of these bodies through the sander, but before I glued them up, I ripped them, resawed them, and so they started out kind of thick, so I took this off. Now it's cupped a little bit because I haven't taken any pains to keep these straight, but you know, so I actually just set it up on the thick side and just cut whatever came off, because these pieces of wood were a little different thicknesses. But so I have been able to use it. Very pleased with the results of that. And so now I've got 3 more strap bodies made out of pine. That's it. I just wanted to catch you up on that. So my total cost for getting this thing operational, and it kind of got to the point where I was into it, and I thought, I'm just going to, spend the money. It may not be it obviously isn't a new machine, but once I found out the motor worked great, I was thinking, like, there's no reason to go spend $2,000 to $3,000 for an equivalent machine when all that's going to happen on this thing is resawing. I have another saw that will be able to leave with the smaller blade in it now, and not try to force it to resaw, which it didn't like to do. And so that's it, guys. Just catching you up on this one. And that wraps it up for everything you need to know about this 18-inch bandsaw. And I'm sure you will see it in videos at some point down the road. That's it. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys. Have a great, I don't even know, it's going to be day, evening? Have a great afterwards when you're finished with this video. Take care, guys.